Hello, breaking news has Atlanta in absolute shock tonight. The city's nightlife, usually lit up with glam, beats, and celebrity energy, just turned into a crime scene that nobody saw coming. Tiny. Yes, that Tiny, the queen of R&B royalty and Atlanta's sweetheart, has been arrested, and the reason is tearing fans apart across the globe. A raw, unfiltered video just dropped online, showing a heated confrontation between Tiny and Shekinah, and it's ugly.
Hey man, you ain't got no serve. Alright, we ready to start 7?
Yep.
The clip spread faster than wildfire, hitting every timeline within minutes. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok blew up instantly. Hashtags like hashtag Tiny arrested and hashtag Shekinah attack jumped straight to #1. Millions of people froze in disbelief, rewatching the footage over and over, trying to make sense of how one of the most loved women in entertainment could end up in a moment like this. The scene looked like something out of a movie. Tiny stepped out of her jet black SUV, her face pale but determined, trying to keep it together under the neon lights of downtown Atlanta. Cameras were everywhere, popping off like fireworks, catching every shaky breath, every tear that slipped down her cheek, every ounce of emotion she tried to hide. You could feel the fear and heartbreak through the screen. Fans who once adored her now sit frozen, confused, and emotional. How did it get to this? The nightclub, where the chaos unfolded, once filled with laughter, music, and good vibes, had turned into a scene of total destruction. Reporters yelled questions, fans cried out her name, and police officers moved in to control the madness as the viral clip played on every screen in sight. Online, emotions are split right down the middle. Some people swear Tiny was provoked, calling her the victim of betrayal, while others say she finally snapped. The comments are wild. Free Tiny, trends right next to lock her up. Everyone's got an opinion, but nobody knows the full truth yet. The tension is thick, and the heartbreak feels personal, like watching someone you grew up with crumble right in front of your eyes. Meanwhile, Shekinah's name is all over the place too. People are digging up old lives, old drama, old rumors. Everyone's trying to figure out what really pushed Tiny to that breaking point. Was it betrayal, a setup, or the truth finally catching up to her? The internet can't stop talking, and Atlanta can't stop watching. Tonight, Tiny's entire world feels like it's collapsing in real time. She's no longer just a star. She's a headline, a hashtag, a story the whole world is crying over. Cameras caught her trembling as she tried to walk through the flashing lights. Her diamond-studded gown glimmering, but her eyes full of pain. That one tear, that one crack in her voice, said everything. The glitz was gone, replaced by heartbreak, disbelief, and fear. The city that once celebrated her is now holding its breath. Fans are praying this is all a misunderstanding, but others fear this could be the end of an era. Atlanta's queen has fallen under the harshest spotlight of all, and the world can't look away. Inside that cold police station, the night's madness hung thick in the air. The tension was suffocating. Every sound, every creak of the door echoed like thunder. Officers whispered behind closed doors. Staff looked drained, and Tiny sat there in silence, eyes red, barely holding herself together. It felt like the whole world outside had gone quiet, waiting for the next breaking update, the next heartbreak. Meanwhile, the internet was in complete meltdown. That viral video had already hit millions of views, and the emotional roller coaster online was wild. Timelines were flooded with fans crying, ranting, and begging for answers. The hashtags hashtag Bring Back Tiny and hashtag Justice for Shekinah were trending at the same time. Two sides of the same storm. It was chaos. Nobody knew who to believe anymore. Every tweet, every repost, every teary TikTok added more fuel to the fire, turning a private disaster into a worldwide spectacle that no one could turn away from. People everywhere were asking the same thing. How did one glamorous night turn into a nightmare caught on camera? This was supposed to be another celebration for Atlanta's elite, but instead, it became a night soaked in pain, confusion, and disbelief. Back at the nightclub, the aftermath was eerie. The music was long gone, but the tension still echoed through the walls. Tables flipped over, bottles smashed across the floor, and red stains on the carpet told a story words couldn't explain. Security guards whispered to each other, waitresses sobbed in corners, and nobody could believe what they'd just witnessed. That moment of chaos was burned into their memories forever. Reporters had already surrounded the club, flashing cameras through the glass windows like vultures. Every shot, every shaky frame of footage became the subject of heated debate online. News outlets were spinning different versions of the story, some saying it was a setup, others calling it the raw, unfiltered truth. Insiders whispered that this beef between Tiny and Shekinah had been boiling for months, hidden behind fake smiles and photo ops. And now, the mask had cracked in front of the entire world. Inside the police station, Tiny's vulnerability hit different. Her tears, her shaking hands, her trembling voice when she said, "I didn't mean for this to happen." It tore through the noise of gossip and rumor. Even the officers watching her couldn't hide the look of pity in their eyes. She wasn't acting tough anymore. She looked broken, human, trapped in a spotlight that refused to dim. Families watching the news back home couldn't look away. Mothers hugged their daughters tighter, whispering lessons about how fame can destroy you if you're not careful. Fathers shook their heads, realizing how quickly the internet can twist anyone's story. The tragedy didn't just belong to Tiny, it belonged to everyone who had ever believed in her. Social media timelines became emotional graveyards, fans crying for hours, replaying clips, arguing about who was wrong, and sending prayers like digital confessions. One user posted, "This don't even feel real. Tiny ain't built for this pain." Another wrote, "Shekinah been holding this in too long and it finally exploded." Nobody had answers, only theories, screenshots, and heartbreak. Even outside the police station, the streets of Atlanta buzzed with tension. Red and blue lights flashed off the wet pavement, illuminating the faces of worried fans and news reporters crowding the sidewalk. People called out, "Is she okay? Is Tiny safe?" Others just stood silent, filming every second as if the truth might appear on their screens any moment. But no answers came. Just the haunting reality that one of Atlanta's brightest stars was now trapped in the center of a viral storm that wasn't slowing down. This wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was history unfolding live, and nobody knew what would come next. As Tiny was officially processed, the world watched every second unfold with heartbreak that felt almost cinematic. The cameras caught it all, her trembling hands clutching her purse, her shaky steps echoing down that hallway, and her blank, distant stare that screamed pain without a single word. Each flash from a camera felt like a dagger, freezing her pain in time for the whole world to see. Speculation hit a fever pitch. Was Shekinah actually hurt, or was the footage edited to twist the truth? Did someone set Tiny up? The internet turned into a full-blown investigation zone. Comment sections looked like crime boards, people posting slow-motion replays, analyzing angles, zooming in on reflections, anything to prove their theory. Conspiracy threads blew up overnight. Some swore industry elites were pulling strings behind the scenes to destroy Tiny's name, while others believed this was just karma finally catching up. Nobody knew what to believe, but everyone wanted to say something. Still, no matter what theories flew around, the emotion in those clips was real. Tiny's pain couldn't be faked. You could see the guilt, the fear, and the heartbreak written all over her face. Her vulnerability hit the world harder than any headline, reminding everyone that behind the glam, behind the fame, there's a real human being breaking under pressure. Watching her shake, watching her hold back tears, it hurt to see. It reminded people that fame doesn't shield you from pain. It magnifies it. Atlanta wasn't just gossiping about a scandal. It was mourning one of its icons in real time. The whole city felt heavy, like a collective heartbreak spreading from block to block. People in clubs stopped the music just to replay the footage on their phones, staring in silence. It wasn't about drama anymore. It was about disbelief. The sound of her voice cracking, the sight of her tears glistening under the harsh lights. It turned a celebrity meltdown into a mirror of modern tragedy. By now, it was past midnight, but the city refused to rest. The streets outside the police station still pulsed with flashing lights, camera crews, and screaming fans demanding updates. Reporters shouted questions, hoping for one quote, one sign of hope. Inside, Tiny sat alone, her head bowed, mascara streaked down her cheeks, her breathing shaky, her hands cold. Every sound from outside, sirens, cameras, murmurs of her name, echoed in her head like ghosts haunting her. The humiliation, the fear, the heartbreak, it was all pressing down on her at once. This wasn't just a bad night, this was a collapse of everything she'd built. Her mind replayed every rumor, every argument, every what if, as tears hit the table in front of her. She knew millions of eyes were watching, and there was no escaping the world's gaze. Back outside, the nightclub looked frozen in time. Broken glass still sparkling under the neon signs. Tables flipped over, shoes left behind in the chaos. Employees whispered in hushed voices, still trembling from what they'd witnessed. One bartender said, "It all happened so fast. I didn't even realize who was screaming until it was too late." The air felt haunted, as if the building itself was replaying the fight over and over. The viral video left nothing to imagination. Every tear, every scream, every look of fear had been recorded, and now it was looping endlessly across millions of screens. Social media turned into a digital battlefield, half defending Tiny with fierce loyalty, the other half dragging her through the mud. Fans posted crying videos, typing long emotional captions about how fame had broken their idol. One tweet read, "She gave her life to the spotlight, and now it's eating her alive." Others accused Shekinah of betrayal, claiming she'd been waiting for this moment to expose Tiny. Some even said the fight was staged for clout, a desperate stunt gone too far. But no matter what theory people believed, everyone agreed on one thing. The pain in Tiny's eyes was real, and it was unforgettable. This wasn't just another celebrity scandal. It was a meltdown caught in high definition, a reminder that even the brightest stars can fall hard when the cameras never stop rolling. And for Tiny, this was only the beginning of a nightmare that the world wasn't ready to stop watching. The internet was on fire, anger, heartbreak, and disbelief clashing all at once. Some fans defended Tiny with love, while others unleashed pure rage, their emotions spilling through screens as if betrayal itself had come alive. Memes, reaction clips, and voiceovers flooded every platform. But under all the noise, you could feel the sorrow. It wasn't just gossip anymore, it was grief. Millions of people watched someone they once admired completely fall apart, powerless under the world's judgment. And then came the conspiracy storm. Was this whole thing a setup? Did someone orchestrate it just to crush Tiny's name? People swore the video had been chopped up, edited just right to make her look guilty. "Something about that angle don't add up," one user posted, zooming in frame by frame like a detective. Others said Shekinah's role was deeper than anyone imagined, whispering that maybe she wasn't just a victim, but a player in a bigger game. Nobody knew what to believe, but the speculation only made things messier. Through all the chaos, one thing stayed crystal clear: Tiny's humanity. Her trembling hands, her glassy eyes, the way she tried to hold back tears. No one could fake that kind of pain. It hit everyone watching right in the chest. For all the theories and rumors flying around, her emotions told the real story. A woman shattered under the weight of fame, loyalty, and heartbreak. Even big names in the industry began speaking up. Artists, influencers, even a few TV hosts admitted that they were terrified of social media's power, how fast it can flip your life upside down. One celebrity posted, "Y'all forget stars are human too. One clip can end a career, a friendship, a life." Their voices added more fuel to the fire, creating a wave of sympathy mixed with confusion. As the whole world tried to process the emotional wreckage, everywhere people were crying, venting, and praying. In living rooms, in cars, in bedrooms lit only by phone screens, millions felt that gut punch together. Parents whispered to their kids, warning them about the cost of fame. Fans questioned how someone with everything, money, power, influence, could still end up this broken. And under it all, the real fear crept in. If she could crumble, who's safe from the internet's cruelty? Atlanta itself seemed frozen in disbelief. The flashing lights outside the police station painted the city red and blue as dawn crept in. The air was thick with whispers, betrayal, setup, manipulation. Nobody knew what was real anymore. Then, just as the sun began to rise, Tiny was led out in cuffs, head low, eyes swollen from crying. The cameras went crazy, blinding her with flashes, locking her pain into history forever. That one image, her trembling in the morning light, would haunt the internet for years. The noise outside grew into chaos again. People yelling, crying, reaching out to touch her or defend her name. Others shouted accusations, waving phones high to catch another viral moment. Every click, every photo, every scream was a reminder that this wasn't just fame. This was punishment by spotlight. The whispers of betrayal wouldn't stop. Was there a hidden agenda? Was someone behind the scenes feeding this chaos for clicks, for clout, for control? Everyone had a theory, but none of them could erase what the world had seen. A star stripped of her shine, a human being left exposed in front of millions. Tiny looked fragile, like the weight of every rumor had crushed her soul. She wasn't just a celebrity anymore. She had become the symbol of every heartbreak caught on camera. The city mourned, the fans grieved, and as her image spread through feeds across the globe, something shifted. People realized this wasn't about fame anymore. It was about pain, about humanity, about how brutal the digital world can be when it smells blood. By morning, every news channel, gossip blog, and podcast was dissecting the story. From the local Atlanta stations to international media, everyone wanted a piece of it. Was Tiny guilty? Was Shekinah playing the victim? Or was this a tragic misunderstanding that spiraled too far? Nobody had answers, just opinions and more heartbreak. And yet, even as the media frenzy grew, one truth echoed through it all. Tiny's breakdown wasn't just another headline, it was a warning. Fame is a double-edged sword, and when it cuts deep. The same spotlight that built her up was now burning her alive for the world to see. But the story didn't end when the cameras stopped flashing. If anything, it was just beginning. Every second, every share, every comment kept the chaos alive. People couldn't look away. Their screens became windows into her pain, and they watched with trembling hands, whispering, "What really happened that night?" And that's the question the world refuses to let go of. Who can be trusted? Was this all staged? Who pulled the strings that led to this viral heartbreak? The lines between truth and illusion blurred, leaving only confusion and curiosity. So here we are, still watching, still asking, still feeling every ounce of this public breakdown. The story of Tiny and Shekinah has turned into something bigger, a cultural moment, a reminder of how fast love turns to judgment and how loud silence becomes when the world demands answers. Don't scroll past, because this saga is far from over. Every post, every reaction, every voice adds to the story still unfolding. Stay tuned, because the next chapter in Tiny's nightmare and Shekinah's truth might just change everything we thought we knew. The world's watching closer than ever, and it's only getting messier. Thanks for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next video.